You and me, we're like brothers, only closer.
Hey guys, it's Bob West, and today I'll be taking you through part 10 of this 16-part journey. Today we'll be looking at Destiel in Season 11 of Supernatural. A little gay perspective here. Season 11 was the first season of Supernatural to air where gay marriage was legal in all 50 states, which is a wild improvement over when Season 1 aired and gay marriage was only legal in one state, which was Massachusetts. I would like to take a second to thank this Destiel deep dive for constantly reminding me of how grim gay rights were until like 2 fucking seconds ago. Anyway, Season 10 left off with Crowley, Cass, and Rowena ripping the mark off Dean's arm and letting loose the darkness. Rowena then put Cass under her attack dog spell and let him loose on Crowley and the world. True to form, Cass calls Dean as soon as he can, and as usual, in the depths of his own shit, he's only worried about Dean.
Where the hell are you, Cass?
I'm okay.
You don't sound okay.
Dean, I am fine. And besides what I have, you can't help me.
What do you mean what you have?
Just, please tell Sam. Rowena escaped with the Book of the Damned and the Codex.
Okay, forget Rowena. Where are you?
Now, you tell me. The mark.
Oh, really? You worried about me after everything that I've...
Dean, is it gone?
Yes, I'm good. I mean, I'm not great.
Makes 2 of us.
Cass makes his way to the bunker for help. The Bad Seed is an interesting episode to analyze. Jensen Ackles is actually directing this, so the character choices between Dean and Cass are coming directly from his own vision of the show. It's a pretty tender episode. Cass is struggling against the spell while Sam and Dean do everything in their power to track down Rowena and force her to end it. Dean is careful with Cass and tries to do everything in his limited power to help. After Cass escapes, Dean tracks him down, trying to defuse the situation. It goes poorly. Still, when Rowena stops him, he is right at his side, and making sure he's alright. The end of the episode has Cass practically begging to heal Dean from the injuries he caused, and Dean refusing. He makes eye contact, telling Cass he had it coming, referring of course to the last time they met, where Dean almost killed Cass. The next few cases, they take solo while Cass stays at home in the bunker, healing. During Baby, Cass isn't physically there with them, but just about exactly a fifth of the episode is spent on the phone with him. Dean and Cass have some fairly true-to-character moments, and I love this entire scene.
You find anything in the lore?
Well, there is a creature that feeds on hearts and blood.
A werepire, you might say. Come on, I know you want to say it.
In the lore, it's referred to as a whisper.
It's lame.
Dean is reluctant to drag Cass back into the fray, but Sam convinces him to at least call and reach out to him. Cass doesn't want to leave, but tries to obey Dean's request he at least go outside for a little. He has a mild PTSD panic attack trying to leave, though, and doesn't manage to go out until later when he feels obligated to track down Metatron. Cass and Dean have a mild fight after everything. Cass can sense that Dean isn't telling the whole truth about Amara. Dean is concerned about Metatron being on the loose, but it all works out. Devil is in the details. Dean calls for Cass, and luckily Cass is catching up to him when Dean gets walloped with the smiting sickness. Cass is probably the only person who Dean would put up with this level of prodding. Cass forces Dean to go back, and Dean reluctantly accepts. He instructs Cass to run if Amara isn't dead. Of course, on finding Amara, Cass immediately decides to stand his ground, but what a power move, riding on the boyfriend of the man you're trying to seduce. Also, Cass never gets this voicemail, but I want to imagine what his thoughts would have been when Dean's all like, "Hey, come to this address, I'm going into hell." When Dean runs to Sam and Lucifer, Cass is close behind, which just bites them both in the ass. Lucifer at one point pins Dean to the wall, threatening Sam that if he doesn't comply, Dean dies, only to be fly-tackled by one pissed-off Castiel. And then, ultimately, Cass says yes to Lucifer, at least in part because of what Amara said, that he's both too weak to do anything to her and expendable, so taking those to heart, he figures he can be of service in this way. Days later, Dean finds Lucifer tearing through the bunker, but still thinks it's Cass. Lucifer uses this to his advantage, pumping Dean for information on Amara. Dean immediately opens up to everything because it's Cass, and he doesn't really hold anything back from him anymore. He starts to get the sense that something is wrong with Cass, but not quite enough to be actually suspicious. I think it's less that Cass put a hand on his left shoulder, which is a little weird for him, but he's done it before. I do think it's in large part the fact that Cass doesn't really usually initiate physical comfort or contact outside of the rare hug. Dean's usually the one initiating small physical contact, but it's mostly just the way Lucifer is talking. Dean knows Cass very well, and he's been off before, but it bothers Dean, even if he can't quite put his finger on why. I personally see the whole follow your heart thing to be referring specifically to the weakness Dean just admitted to Cass, that he has feelings that he doesn't want for Amara, but I know many people see it as possibly both covering that and his unspoken growing love for Cass. Sam and Dean find out Cass is actually Lucifer in episode 14, and Dean doesn't accept that it may have been Cass's choice.
So, Cass.
Yeah. Now, what do we do?
What else? We hunt Lucifer, trap the bastard, and save Cass.
Like I said, Lucifer may be in control now, but Cass may not come back willingly. I mean, he chose it.
No. No, not possible.
Then comes episode 18. Sam wants to use Lucifer to wield the hand of God against Amara, and Dean is wholly unwilling to sacrifice Cass.
Priority is to put the horn in Lucifer's hands and set him loose on Amara.
After we exorcise Lucifer out of Cass and put him into a new vessel.
What? Really?
Yes, really. I'm not going to send Lucifer into battle inside Cass. What if he doesn't make it?
Dean, it's a strong vessel. It's held Cass for years, and we know what he's been through. I'm guessing it can hold Lucifer.
It? It's not an it, Sam. It's Cass.
And Cass wanted to do this.
Yeah, well, there's times I want to get slapped during sex by a girl wearing a Zorro mask. I don't make it a good idea.
Dean, this is exactly how we screw ourselves. We make the heart choice instead of the smart choice.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Dr. Phil. Cass is family.
Yes, and his choice deserves to be respected.
Even if it kills him.
They compromise and pull Lucifer into a trap and try to talk with Cass, and it doesn't go well.
Yes? Castiel, show yourself.
Dean. Guys. What are you doing? What's going on?
Yes, listen to me. We don't have a whole lot of time, okay? We've got to... Yes?
Woo! He's got to what? You boys... Ooh, you almost had me there for a minute, but these mail order spells, they're just not what they're cracked up to be, are they?
Cass, expel him! You gotta kick Lucifer out, you hear me?
Honestly, I think he's happy with the arrangement. I mean, he did invite me in and all, Dean.
Cass!
Cass! Hand over the weapon.
Sensing they won't give up, Crowley goes in to talk to Cass. Also, I love that Cass' safe retreat in his mind is the bunker kitchen. But he doesn't go for it. Then moving forward, Lucifer takes a stab at killing Amara, which also doesn't go well. Dean, meanwhile, sensing the danger, calls out to Cass, straight up in the face of the person he's unwillingly soul-bound to, knowing it's Lucifer and he's drawing attention to himself. He tries one last time to reach Cass. Amara uses Cass to goad Dean into reaching out to God for her, and then nothing of note happens with Cass and Dean until the last episode. Mostly because Cass is Lucifer and they're both dealing with God drama. When Amara wins the fight, she rips Lucifer out of Cass again. After checking up on Sam, Dean heads immediately over to check on Lucifer, assuming he's still in control of Cass. His face when he realizes it's actually Cass. Cass goes with Dean when he's sort of giving up and on a beer run. They talk in the car. Cass is worried Dean thinks less of him for giving in to Lucifer, and Dean assures him that he isn't upset about it. He extends the same sentiment that he's family. I'll refer you back to my assessment on season 8 for how I feel about when Dean tells Cass he's a brother or family. When they ultimately decide to kill Amara, Cass knows Dean has to go.
Dean. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right.
I could go with you.
No, no, no. No, I gotta do this alone. Listen, when this works, Sam, he's gonna be a mess. So look out for him, okay? Make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
Of course.
Cass was willing to go with Dean to take on Amara, knowing he'd have nothing to help, and he'd simply be there to make sure Dean didn't die alone, and Dean instead entrusts him with Sam's safety. This season, like most, has a lot going for it. It's not my favorite season, but in terms of these two idiots, it's not bad. Next week we'll be looking into Season 12's events, so that'll be a hoot. Y'all can email me with anything you want. I'll be happy to read them. You should also follow my Ko-fi account. I'll be previewing a few things there in the upcoming days. I'm using the funds I collect in the next couple weeks to buy a bunch of molding materials. I'd like to make a couple videos on recreating a few of the makeups and props from Supernatural. And beyond that, I'd love it if you guys liked this video, and if you haven't, subscribe. I'll see you next week.